Most of you would have heard or even watched a famous Hollywood movie by the name The Wolf of Wall Street. The title role was played by Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie, and this movie was based on the life of Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort was a small-time Wall Street broker. So he was not a very smart guy, but he was a greedy person. And when he was caught by the authorities, he turned FBI informer. Then, when he got released from the jail, he wrote a memoir by the name Wolf of the Wall Street. In fact, the marketing of the book was so good that it led to a bidding war. Yes, a bidding war on the rights to make a movie based on this book. And you know who were the major players in this bidding war? Well, none other than Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. Yes, the big actors of Hollywood were fighting to secure the rights. Why? Because Hollywood is kind of obsessed with Wall Street, finance, and big money. Anyhow, eventually DiCaprio won the bid in 2007, and the movie was to be produced by Warner Brothers Studio. The budget of movie, a grand total of $100 million. But then the financial crisis happened in 2008, and the Warner Brothers decided to shelve the project. So there was no producer left to produce the movie, and the money was not even lined up even by the second half of 2012. But we all know that movie was released in 2013 December. So where did this money come from? Let's take a pause because I'll come to that in a moment. First, let's talk about Malaysia. In 2008, general election in Malaysia happened, and like all the general elections since independence, the ruling coalition of PN won the majority. Najib Razak became the 6th Prime Minister of Malaysia in 2009. Now, Najib Razak was not an outsider to Malaysia's politics. His father was the 2nd Prime Minister of Malaysia. In his first year as Prime Minister, Najib established a sovereign wealth fund named unwittingly. Now, sovereign wealth funds are owned by the country because they are funded through public money. The money belongs to the nation and to the future generations of the country, and not to any shareholders or individuals. But this idea of unwittingly was not the brainchild of Najib. Malaysia already had a sovereign wealth fund, the SANA, established in 1993. This idea of creating another fund was the brainchild of a small-time Malaysian fellow named Low Jhow. This Low Jhow came from a small business family, and he had studied at Harrow School in UK and then at Wharton. And while studying at UK and USA, he would present himself as a Malaysian prince. In reality, he had no connections with any royal family. And despite having no money on his own, he would throw lavish parties to maintain this image of a royal prince. He had spent some time in the Middle East and was impressed by the wealth in that region. He initially wanted to create a fund with Mubadala of UAE, but that didn't work out. But he played a key role in getting Middle Eastern money for Iskandar project of Malaysia, and that fundraise brought him to the limelight. Using that event of a successful fundraise for Malaysia from the Middle Eastern funds, built connections to the Prime Minister of Malaysia. And then he convinced the Prime Minister to create this unwittingly fund with $1 billion of seed capital. Now, this is impressive. Not only this guy managed to create a large sovereign wealth fund, but also took control of the capital of the fund without having any formal position at the fund. Again, a smart and greedy person who didn't mind breaking the law. And with that capital, he partied like nobody had partied before. He spent $85 million on parties in just 9 months during October 2009 to June 2010. So on an average, he was spending more than $9 million per month just on the parties. That means he was spending more than $300,000 per night to party. And how did he spend this money? Well, he used to send lavish gifts to Hollywood celebrities. He wanted to make connections and become famous. And what is the best way to be a known face? Party with celebrities. So he once saw Lindsay Lohan at a club, and he sent 23 bottles of expensive champagne to her table. For Paris Hilton's 29th birthday, he gave her $250,000 of gambling chips and a Cartier watch. Not only that, he also paid Paris Hilton $100,000, and he also paid $50,000 to Kim Kardashian to attend parties. At one point of time, he was also dating with Miranda Kerr. But his biggest connection in Hollywood was Leonardo DiCaprio. DiCaprio was one of his closest celebrity friends, and Lau even gifted him a $9.2 million artwork once. Yes, $9.2 million artwork. So when DiCaprio's movie was blocked due to no funds, Mr. Low Jhow came as the knight in shining armor. As I said earlier, this movie was to be produced by Warner Brothers, but they pulled out. And after Warner Brothers pulled the plug, a little-known company named Red Granite purchased the rights to the movie for $1 million. And this Red Granite was owned by two gentlemen, including one Riza Aziz. Riza Aziz is the stepson of Najib Razak. So now you can see the pieces falling in place. You have a guy who is close friends with DiCaprio. He somehow controls the capital of a large sovereign fund of Malaysia. And then Malaysia's Prime Minister's stepson of that time holds a right to the movie of DiCaprio. And bingo, the money starts to pour in. The movie goes for production and is released in 2013. It is said that around $250 million were routed to Red Granite from 1MDB. But like all bad deeds, the scam of 1MDB also came to public's notice. The scandal broke out in 2015, and due to public anger over this scandal, Najib Razak was removed as Prime Minister of Malaysia. Najib was also arrested in 2018 and was convicted in 2020 by the High Court of Malaysia. He was initially sentenced for 12 years, which was later reduced to 6 years in 2024. He is now fighting legal battle to convert his jail sentence to house arrest. And where is Low Jhow now? Well, nobody knows for sure. Some reports claim that he's in Myanmar, some claim he's in China. So that was the story of how the movie Wolf of Wall Street got produced by Malaysian public's money. And the irony is, this movie is actually banned in Malaysia. Well, money works in strange ways. Hope you enjoyed this one. Bye for now. Until next time.